What is going on, guys? Hope you are all doing well. On today's little segment here, a little episode segment, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to take you guys through how I set up my mock scrapes and how I set up my stand locations to work in my favor come the season so I can get a shot on a mature buck. Now, has this method worked for me? No, not 100%, but what it has done is it has brought mature deer past my stand. So if you guys have been following me for a little bit now, you know that I have had two big mature bucks, Skinny and Junior. Both have worked my mock scrapes just while I was not in the stand. So does it work? Yes, but you have to do it the right way. And this is not something that I learned overnight. Took a couple years of figuring out how to do it, but I'm going to show you guys what works in my area, and hopefully this will work in your area, and if not, give you some ideas on what may work. So follow along with me. Let's go. All right, guys, so I made it to my first mock scrape location. All right, now something that I've learned just recently is that there are different types of vegetation you can use for mock scrapes, but a general consensus is that a free swinging vine of some sort, whether that's bittersweet, in my case in this one I've got wild grapevine, but anything like that, if you have a cedar branch or anything like that, that works perfectly. So what I've got here is I've got a piece of paracord tied all the way down to this grapevine, and I've got this mock scrape right here. Now, what you want to be able to do with your mock scrapes is you want to have them be accessible to all varieties of deer, meaning fawns, does, and bucks. Now, if I were to change one thing about this right here, I would lower the grapevine down a little bit, just so that it's a little bit easier for fawns to reach. It's not at an ideal height, but if they were to stand on their hind legs, they should be able to reach it. I've had this particular scrape going for 3 years now, and it's become a community scrape. So does use it, fawns use it, and bucks do use it. More fawns than does than anything, but you know what? That's fine, because come the rut, the bucks come through here looking for the does. So free swinging vine, and then just scrape up the earth. I'll put you guys down real quick, and I'll show you guys how I do it. So there are countless videos out there about how to do this, and I found that you can use your boot, you can use a branch, doesn't matter, just something to scrape up the earth. So in this case, I'm going to use my boot. Right, come in here. Rip up the ground just like that, and then I like to use some sort of natural scent, and so the scraped earth, there's one scent. Here I'll just use doe pee. Right now I don't want to use doe estrus because obviously does aren't in estrus, so that's going to be confusing. Buck balm here also makes a mock scrape generator or a scrape initiator, so that scent's got a whole bunch of different scents of deer or anything like that. So that's one that I'll typically use. I don't have any of that right now, so this is what I'm going to use. So all I'm going to do is just spray it right in the scrape. Okay, and then anywhere that I was walking or kneeling down, I'll spray it just like that. That's pretty much the basis of it, but the important thing is that anytime you set up a mock scrape, you just can't set it anywhere. You have to set it somewhere where the deer are traveling. For example, I've got a natural trail right here, and I've got a trail right over here. So it's basically like a pit stop for the deer to stop, check, see who's been here, see what's going on, and hopefully, come the fall, when I'm in that tree right up there, big old buck will walk by, and I'll shoot, and I'll have a 15-yard shot right there. So that's one particular scrape. Got two more or one more? Two more, I think. hold on. I believe I have two more scrapes, and I will show you guys those because this is a community scrape. The other two are a little bit different. Alright guys, so I've made it to my second scrape location here. Now, what I did here was I took an existing scrape that was made last season and I've opened it back up to hopefully see if I can keep the deer coming back to this spot. Now, this is a travel corridor, and one of the biggest problems I have with hunting this spot is that it is very, very open. The only cover I have is back this way. And right now, there's a bunch of cover there because all the leaves are on the tree. But come the rut, all that is open. Now, with those clusters of trees that are back there, I have a better shot of tucking myself up in those clusters of trees and hiding out of sight. Now, it is a long shot. It's about a 25 to 30 to 35 yard shot, depending on where I'm at. So, that's the hard part. The good part is where this trail is, in that stand location, with a north wind. So the wind coming this way, the deer are not going to smell me. The only way they're going to smell me is if they get behind me, and what they've got back there is they've got houses back there that stop them from walking back that way, because during the rut they're not going to walk in the open. So that's the advantage I have. Now, I've only hunted this particular spot for about a year, about 2 seasons, and I didn't realize that this spot was present until about 3-4 years ago. But that's what happens when you hunt a property for multiple years. You start to learn it, you start to understand it. So with this particular spot here, this is one that I'm going to hunt on a north wind, and I'm going to have to tuck myself into one of these trees where there are multiple branches to break up my outline, but also I want to be aware of my entry and exit. Now, what I've got is I've got a creek that runs between the house and this grove of trees here, and I can use that creek to get in. So I will work the back side of that and come up and shimmy into one of those trees without having to put my scent anywhere near this trail. So if you have a spot where it's open, you have to find the thickest cover you can to get up into your tree, into your blind, whatever it is. But also, you have to pay attention to your entry and exit, because in a big open spot like this, you don't want to walk right up and down the trail. You're just going to cause problems for yourself. You're going to spook deer, and you're not going to have a good hunt. Now, again, with this spot, this is one where you may get does, but you primarily, ideally, will get bucks. But you'll get bucks of all age classes. You'll get yearlings, you'll get 2-year-olds, you'll get 3-year-olds. Every now and again, you'll get a big old mature deer. I know for a fact that Skinny has walked this particular trail, especially last year. So I've got one more spot that I'm gonna go check. It's right up here. It's another mock scrape, and I'm gonna explain to you guys the importance of that one and why it's so close to this one. All right, so this is my front mock scrape. This one is only about 40 yards from my other one, and the reason I did that is because it creates a pre-existing natural scrape line. So during the rut, pre-rut, bucks will create scrape lines, basically leaving a message board for does or any other bucks in the area to let them know, hey, I made this is my spot. What that'll do for the does is give them a place to leave their mark, saying, hey, I'm ready to breed, or no, I'm not ready to breed. So with this pre-existing scrape line, I've given the does in the area a place to leave their scent, but also I've given the bucks in the area a place to come check, both early season, pre-season, and during the rut. Now, what I like better about this spot than I do about that one is even just moving in 50 yards, I've moved myself into a big, thick area full of trees. I've got this knob that's right here, and I've got bedding straight back there. It's a swamp. And so the deer will bed in that swamp and beyond that. And in this particular spot, I can set up on that knob in one of those grove of trees back there and have about a 20 to 25 yard shot shooting this trail. But I've got this trail here that I'm on right now. I've got a trail over there, and I've got a trail over there. So it's basically like a big junction where all these trails come together. And the deer head down into this valley. So, important things to remember when creating mock scrapes. You want to use natural scents, all right? The scent of the scraped up earth will attract deer. You want to use scents in the ground that make sense, okay? So, a mock scrape generator of any sort. Dopey is another good one. There's interdigital scents, which is the scent glands in between the deer's toes. You want to use forehead glands on the vines themselves. And that's really basically all you really need to start a mock scrape. Find the ground, scrape it up, hang some sort of licking branch, and then stay out of there as best you can. If you do want to check cameras that are near them, do it before a rainstorm or spray down with some sort of scent control. For me, we've got thunderstorms moving in. They're going to be here within the next couple of hours. So I'm leaving a little bit of human scent, but not too much, because that rain that's coming in is going to wash it away. That's very important about your mock scrapes, especially when looking for big bucks, because any sort of human scent or scent that doesn't make sense to them to be there, they will not like it. So again, this is how I have found success making mock scrapes for my particular property. It may not work for yours. It may work. I hope it works. But I also hope that any ideas that I've shared with you guys here will help you put down a big buck this coming fall. With that being said, guys, bow hunt or die, introduce someone new to the outdoors. Hope y'all are having a great summer, staying healthy, staying safe, and I will see you guys next time.